Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. If you have any question, please write me at walkwithtak@gmail.com regarding this video or any video that I have posted in the past. If you have any video that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. In this video, I would like to tell you what I cook for the month of August. I use my fast cooking system with its 4 attributes, that is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. I usually spend about 20 minutes to cook a meal. Very rarely it will take me more than 30 minutes. Most of the time for my wife and I cook one dish that will contain several different kinds of vegetables, 1 or 2 different kinds of proteins. Occasionally, I will cook 2 to 3 dishes, but very rarely I will spend more than 30 minutes to cook a meal. All my meals, vegetable is the primary ingredients. Usually I will include about 4 to maybe 7 different vegetables in a dish. All the vegetables are available in my advanced prepping. All I need to do is to pick and choose what I want to cook that evening. When it comes to proteins, I also have all of them available for me to cook. I usually cook with maybe 2 or 3 different kinds of shrimp, 2 or 3 different kinds of fish, chicken. We rarely eat pork or beef. My wife do not prefer them for reasons of flavor as well as for health issues. For the month of August, I cook every night. I cook them all in my wok with stir frying. With a few exceptions. For example, one night I make pizza. Because my friend Jim living in California has convinced me to purchase a gas pizza oven. I'm learning how to use this pizza oven because my wife loves pizza, and I thought that would be a nice change. And besides, I have all the ingredients available. The difference is instead of stir frying, I am making pizza. Okay. Let me walk you through all the dishes that I cook during this month. From there, you can see how I apply my fast cooking system to cook meals every single night with diversity, simplicity, as well as efficiency. With the fast cooking system, you can truly make home cooking as a viable alternative to fast and ultra-processed food. Okay, let's get started. My wife and I love both salmon and shrimp, and on that night I have 3 different kinds of mushroom on hand, and I decided to use all of them. It's portobello mushroom, white mushroom, and king oyster mushroom. And at the end of the cooking process, I garnish the dish with some scallions that I cut in thin strips. Early that afternoon, my neighbor brought us some green bean that he grew in his garden. At the same time, my wife also brought in some yellow squash from her garden, and I decided I'm going to cook them together with some tomato and chicken. At this particular evening, our neighbor came over for dinner, and afterwards I make a blueberry and peach flambé to go over some homemade vanilla ice cream. In this video, I would like to show you that with a wok, you can make dessert as well as 4 stir-fry regular dishes. August is the month. There are a lot of vegetables coming out from the garden. In this case, I used 2 different kinds of cabbage that was given to me by my wife's cousin, and that is regular cabbage as well as purple cabbage. And I also used 3 different kinds of mushroom that I have on hand. That is portobello, shiitake, and oyster mushroom. Earlier during the week, I found some large sea scallops on sale. I cut them up into smaller pieces and I stir fry it with shrimp, egg, tomato, and peas. It's one of my favorite dish. For this evening, I cook a cold hot salmon dish with bok choy as well as purple cabbage and tomatoes. My wife loves salmon, so that goes on very well. This is one of those evenings that we came home late, and I would like to have something really quick. So I cooked this egg dish with tomato, mushroom, and scallions. And this dish only took about 3 or 4 minutes to cook. We ate this with rice, and it took me only about 10 minutes to have this dish ready from the time I walked into the kitchen. My wife loves potato and carrot, and one way for me to cook both of this is to cook them in a curry. So in this dish, I also cook it with chicken and shrimp. Now this dish took a little bit longer time to cook, and this is probably a demonstration why stir frying is such an efficient cooking technique. For this meal, it took me about an hour. Again, this meal I like to cook some salmon. My wife loves salmon. I always try to cook salmon about at least once or twice a week. In this dish, I use some green bean that my neighbor gave us, and I also cook it with broccoli and carrot. For this meal, I'm going to cook a tofu dish. My son loves tofu, and he also enjoys mushroom and pepper. So I throw in some jalapeno pepper because he loves spicy food. I also added a bit of a frozen vegetable mix. This is a very fast dish to cook. It took only about 4 minutes. For this meal, I also cook a stir-fry egg dish. I use whatever ingredients that I have to use to cook the tofu. I use mushroom, jalapeno pepper, and I added a bit tomatoes as well. Again, this only takes about 3 minutes to cook. For this evening, we have invited our neighbors over for dinner, and he loves biryani. So I cooked this biryani dish in my cast iron wok. I use Chinese sausages with several different kinds of mushroom as well as yellow squash, and I put a few eggs on top of it. And for this evening, my wife told me that she would like to have some chicken. So I did a shallow fried chicken to give it a grilled-like flavor and texture. And then I cooked the chicken together with broccoli as well as something called gailan, which often refers to as Chinese broccoli, and then I garnish it with some cherry tomatoes. When I looked into the pantry, I discovered that I have some potatoes that I need to use up. So for this evening, I cook a curry with potato, carrots, and chicken drumstick. I use a different curry sauce, so it is different from what I did earlier, and I used the wok to cook this dish. Earlier during the week, I went to shop at a Chinese supermarket near Chicago, and I bought some fried tofu. So I decided I'm going to cook a fried tofu dish together actually with regular tofu as well, using mushroom and different kinds of pepper, including jalapeno peppers. During that trip, I also bought some tofu, which frequently known as soy tofu puff. And I looked in the refrigerator and I found some baby bok choy, yellow squash, and I decided I'm going to cook it with some shrimp. For this evening, we came home late from doing a shopping trip, and we want something really fast. So I turned to my stir-fry egg dishes because that usually only took me 3 or 4 minutes, and all I need to do is have some eggs. And I cook it with a frozen vegetable mix. And we ate it with some rice, and actually it wasn't bad at all. This dish is a good example. There are vegetables that I need to use up, and that includes some broccoli, cabbage, and yellow squash. So I cook them with chicken. And this is a good way for me to use temperature-based cooking to take care of whatever I need to use up. This is a dish. I use the technique to blacken some shrimp, and then I combine it with a stir-fry vegetable dish that contains baby bok choy, shiitake mushroom, purple cabbage, and tomatoes. I always have some tofu on hand because it becomes very handy when I run out of prep. This tofu dish is very quick and easy to make, and I just use some frozen vegetables together with some frozen edamame. This is a salmon dish. I need to use up some king oyster mushroom, so I cook this dish with king oyster mushroom together with broccoli, purple cabbage, and cherry tomatoes. I find some Chinese broccoli, frequently also known as gailan, in the refrigerator that I need to use up. So I cooked a vegetable medley together with some Argentinian wild-caught red shrimp. For this meal, my wife brought in some tomatoes from her garden, and she said she would like to have a curry. So I cook it with potato, carrot, and some chicken drumstick. I use a different curry sauce that include the tomatoes. Okay, time for another salmon dish. I have 3 different kinds of mushroom in the refrigerators that I need to use up, and I have some onion as well. So I cook them all together. At the end, I add some cherry tomatoes. This dish is kind of a catch-all dish. I have some Chinese broccoli available, and I also have some fried tofu. So I make a vegetable medley and together with some chicken. And for this evening, I need a quick meal. So I turn to the egg stir fry. Again, it is very fast. It took only about 3 minutes to have this dish ready. We were ready to eat in about 10 minutes from the time when we walk into the kitchen. In this video, I have demonstrated to you what I cook in the month of August, able to create many different types of dishes. Because with the fast cooking system, when you have advanced prepping, you have many ingredients to choose from, and with stir frying, you can cook it with the greatest efficiency. And with tempeh-based cooking, you do not need to use a recipe. And with flavor chasing, you can choose from your advanced prepping to match the flavor of the different ingredients that how you like it. The end result is that you can create diverse dishes for your meals, and you will have fun cooking it. Once you master the basics, you will find home cooking is no longer a chore. If you'd like to learn more about the fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.